Year 6, Lesson 3, Extensive Challenge 1. Four friends, Archibald, Bertram, Camilla, and Daphne, go on holiday together on the French Riviera. On the first evening of the hotel, they sit down together. Archibald insists that he sits facing south. So that's the first bit of important information. So that he has a clear view of the Mediterranean Sea, whilst Bertram and Camilla decide to sit next to each other. So that's the other important thing that we need to consider. So show the four possible seating arrangements on the diagram below. The first one has been done for you. So in this first one, we can understand how it works. We know that A, Archibald, needs to be facing south. But when he's in that north position, he's facing opposite, he's facing south. And you can also see that B and C are sat next to each other. So to find all the other possible combinations, firstly, we can realize that every single one of them is going to have Archibald in that north position facing south. So we can put all the A's in. Then we must consider how B and C can be sat next to each other. So in the first example, we've got A, D, and B and C are sat next to each other. So I can also find a combination where we put D in that same position and we swap B and C. So we find a new way for them to sit down, C and B. There's our second combination. Now, in order for B and C, Bertrand and Camilla, to sit next to each other, they cannot be on opposite sides of the table. So I cannot have B and C, as I've just shown below. So the only other place for B and C to sit together is going to be on the left side of the table in the west and south positions. So let's position Daphne on the right side. That's the only other place she can sit. If Daphne was on the bottom, then it's going to be splitting Bertram and Camilla. So Daphne's got to be on that right side, and that gives us two more combinations for B and C. We can have BC or CB. And those are our four combinations. Now, on the second day of the holiday, Archibald relents and graciously allows anyone, including himself, to face the sea. Although Bertram and Camilla still choose to sit next to each other, how many possible arrangements are there now? So now we don't have to position A at the top of the table. So we've got some more combinations that we can find. So the main important thing here is that B and C must sit next to each other. So I'm going to position one of these guys first. So let's choose, and it makes no difference which one we choose because we're going to get the same number of combinations. Let's position Bertram first. So Bertram has four choices of a seat to sit in, north, east, south, or west. Now Camilla, who must sit next to Bertram, can either sit to the left or to the right, which means for every single combination for Bertram, we have two choices for Camilla. Now we can position the rest of the team. So again, picking one at random, I'm going to position Archibald. So Archibald would have four choices on the table in total, but we've already sat down Bertrand and Camilla. So that leaves two remaining choices for Archibald. And finally, there is just one place remaining on the table for Camilla. So I've used the principle of multiplication here, because if we think about it, for each and every one of the first four combinations, for where we positioned, I think it was B, we sat down first, Bertram, there are two more choices. There are two choices for each and every one of them for where Camilla can sit. Then for every single combination of B and C, we've got another two choices for how we position Archibald and Daphne. So in total, we get 8 times 2, which is 16 different combinations. Now, in the last question, it's the last day of the holiday. All four friends decide to sit wherever they like. How many arrangements have we got? So we can pick anyone to sit down first. There are no special requirements. Let's pick Camilla, as she got picked last in the previous question. So she's got 4 choices for a seat to sit in. Now, the next friend, anyone we like, let's pick Daphne, has now 3 remaining choices because Camilla's already sat down. Then we can pick Bertram, who's got 2 remaining seats to choose from, and that leaves just 1 seat to choose from for Archibald. So in total, we end up with 24 different combinations of ways that the 4 friends can sit down.